Play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Raynor getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring! Bob Stastinko gonna find Raynor!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. Tonight, we bring you to Division... Not B East. Why does it say B East?
C.
C West. It's all kinds of wrong. Let's fix that real quick. But I'm joined tonight by none other than the fearless Mongoose, also of Division C West. How you doing tonight, Mongoose?
Happy to cast my friends in my home division. Should be a good one. This has been a really competitive division, and we're not wasting any time because we're already 3 bands in, Aero.
All right, well, let's show the maps here real quick, and then we'll hit up the draft. Quick bans. Out of Arrogant Nephalem, we had the bans on Cursed Hollow and Dragonshire. Clouded Mines banned out Volskaya and Towers of Doom. And the selection here is Mongoose's favorite, right? From Clouded Mines.
Yeah. I'm shocked. No Ariel ban, no Deathwing ban at all. Instead, looks like they're targeting Johanna and Gul'dan banned out targeting Clouded Mines. And then Clouded Mines responding, choking out the tanks with Mal'Ganis and Anubarak banned out.
Well, and we see the first pick Oriel, which is kind of a staple. And Kael'thas and Stukov. And I just somehow lost... I was so confused how my mug full of pens made it off my desk onto the counter behind me. I don't remember doing that.
It's been a rushed evening. Have the nerfs to Deathwing? I was gonna say.
Oh
changed
man,
enough?
Mongoose, we already have ourselves one of our Div C bingo boxes. I think.
Well, which ones? I don't have them up.
Oriel and Deathwing.
I'm flabbergasted they both made it through. Just the meta since Deathwing has been introduced and the resurrection changes were their pseudo permaban and kind of impairs, honestly, as a Dibbles ban coming out for Clouded Mines.
I'm trying to find it, but I thought it was in here.
And Clouded Mines giving out both.
Yeah, no doubt. There's the Cho'Gall, so not a big surprise on that. I think that is probably a good ban. Maybe Stukov's not the greatest for it, but we do have the Anubarak ban. And Mal'Ganis could have been a pretty big mess for Cho'Gall as well. I feel like it should be here, but I'm not seeing it. Maybe I took it out. Raynor and oh, what am I? Oh, I opened up Discord to look for the thing, and it covered up Mongoose. So
That's
we'll
all right.
fix that.
Priorities.
Right?
I'll bring it up on my end so I have them up as well. See if I can find them. Scroll up.
There you go.
There we go. I have them up now.
I was gonna say, just go to the pins.
Yep.
Phoenix and ETC going to be the picks here, coming out from it's Arrogant Nephalem on that side.
So that's the Deathwing answer, the Malthael. I kind of get that, but I have not seen a team get both Ariel and Deathwing.
I have.
I don't know when.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it wasn't that recent. I want to say they won.
Yeah. No.
So we'll see here.
Yeah, I do like the Kael'thas, the kind of perma-brawling in the bottom lanes. Teams are generally terrible about passing the bomb around like a hot potato. And you know, the thing about the living bomb too that doesn't get talked about a lot, even if your team is good about kind of breaking up so you're not passing the bomb around, you're still worrying about not passing the bomb around and not following up on your tank or putting the damage where it needs to go or peeling or whatever. So it's disruptive even if you don't pass that bomb around.
You know, and there's another aspect to the Kael'thas that I don't think most people even know because you don't get to see a whole lot of Deathwing. Is that living bomb on Deathwing is extremely hard to see.
Interesting. I hadn't considered that.
Yep, it is like the flame strike from the banned skin on Sky Temple level of difficult to see. All right, so Mongoose, which team would you like to introduce?
I'm just here riding shotgun. It's your show. You pick your favorite team, no pressure, and I'll get the other one.
All right, well then I will start on the left with Arrogant Nephalem. We've got Segatai on the ETC, Kime on Deathwing, Null Pointer playing the Ariel. We've got Trade playing Jaina, and Phoenix going to be played by Mig.
And our friends on Clouded Minds will feature Zednam on Blaze, Swing on Kael'thas, Star Knight on Stukov, Venus on Jimmy Raynor, and in the top lane, Tiger on Malthael.
You know, and this one didn't make it into the bingo, but there was a potential of a squad almost having mount synergy with one person not having, like breaking the synergy.
That would have been a good one.
I almost put that in.
Oh, Blaze in trouble. That's the thing with Blaze as a main tank. If you miss that jet propulsion, it's kind of tough to get out. Got a little beaten up there, but still all right.
Yeah, the lucky thing for Blaze here is that eventually he will have the Unstoppable, but he just doesn't have it yet. Nice detainment strike there onto Blaze, though, knocking him into the wall, and that's going to be first blood just under 1 minute into this game.
You know, I don't know if I've seen this interaction. I assume if Blaze hits Deathwing, he will stop, but obviously no impact to the dragon, right?
I believe that's the case.
He won't like fly through him. He's not like he's not
right.
there. He'll just hit him and stop.
Right, exactly. And then he would proc the stun on any of the other heroes nearby, but not on Deathwing.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was my next question. So like the splash, as it were, will hit nearby teammates of Deathwings.
Yes, I believe that is the way the interaction works.
So worth noting, they sent Raynor up to the top where Phoenix was. The ranged solos going at it. So Malthael can mirror Deathwing because Phoenix will wreck Malthael in the solo lane. So nice adjustment here by Cloud Minds.
Yeah, that's a big brain play right there. With Kime there in the World Breaker form, he's got that area denial hitting those lava bursts, and that lava burst is a significant slow. If I remember right, it's 60%. So trying to come through that is brutal. And then you also have the Earth Shatter, which is a short duration stun, but it's long enough.
Yeah, and I was actually going to bring up a similar thing here for Clouded Minds. With a Stukov and a Kael'thas, that's kind of a lot of circles that are about the same size as these points. And that can make it tough for Arrogant Nephalem to fight in, as Segatai on ETC getting really low. And Clouded Minds actually getting the charge now, building it up. In the top lane, Jimmy is putting it on Phoenix a little bit. Venus doing a nice job up there.
Now, did you see the living bomb on Deathwing there in that fight?
I did not.
Yeah, he gets a little flame around his upper body, his chest, and that's it. Like, you can barely tell the color difference. It's really strange. I'll try to point it out when I see it next.
Aero, is this a 100-0 Zerg wave 3 minutes in for Clouded Minds?
That's fantastic. And you know, depending on how this goes, Clouded Minds has their Zerg wave going in the top lane. Phoenix does have pretty decent AoE into this. With his phase bombs, he also took Arsenal Synergy if he can get those autos onto the Raynor. But it looks like they're going to rotate up and clear this up quickly.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Clouded Minds, their siege pressure is going to be bottom, and their best siege hero is Raynor, who is actually top. So, I mean, early Zerg wave isn't going to be a ton of value, but that's a good and early sign here for Clouded Minds.
Are you suggesting that Malthael does not provide a lot of siege damage?
I am suggesting that indeed, yes.
Wow. So let's take a look at talents here. Oh, it's going to be Behemoth armor there for Raynor. Looking to stack the veteran marksman, give him some pepper rather. Veteran marksman, the talent.
Man, Tiger is really doing a lot of work on this Malthael, dude. I'm just watching him. He is really going to town. Although the flame breath there, making him rethink his life choices there.
And it's important to note here, Deathwing going into Draconic Might, which gives him that protect, which could very well save his life if the timing is done correctly for him in favor, you know, on a last rites or something. But also now going into the Molten Breath, and that Molten Breath is going to be very challenging for Cloud of Minds to come into over, say, one of these control points.
Yeah, and if you're that's one of those big cooldowns, actually similar to a Jaina Blizzard, that you want to call it out. You know, hey, that breath went out, no value. That's kind of your go time cue. You know, because it's a big tool that's not going to be available.
Yeah, and it looks like
right here actually.
Yeah, and it looks like at level 7 here, Death Drop. So when he lands on heroes, he's going to reduce his cooldowns, which normally have a 3-second basic ability cooldown timer. That'll drop down to 1 second, and a 15 spell armor reduction across the board for anybody who lands on.
Yeah, despite the first Zerg wave, Arrogant Nephalem is actually winning the structure game here a little bit, as Clouded Minds actually had to rotate, or chose to rotate 2 to the top to maybe push for this camp, but they're losing that bottom lane here a little bit now. Tiger on the Malthael coming back down.
Yeah, Malthael is absolutely integral to their defense with the Deathwing on the other side. If they don't have Malthael, then it's very difficult for them to put enough pressure on to Deathwing, and he's just going to walk all over. I mean, he just doesn't care about these mortals. There's the living bomb.
Silence there, and a living bomb too. Blaze in trouble. Pop the armor.
Did you see what I was talking about though? Like, that living bomb doesn't change the color of Deathwing at all. Normally it has a little bit of a rotating color scheme, orangey, yellow, reddish kind of thing, but not on Deathwing. It's just the actual flame effect.
Yeah, I saw what you were talking about, and then I didn't see it.
Yeah. And he actually got it twice, back to back. Like, he had it, you know, it blew up, and then Kael'thas put it out there again.
And props to Venus up here. He's really holding down this top lane. Trading into Phoenix can be tough sometimes with his shield, but unfortunately bottom lane not going so well for Clouded Minds.
Zednam's going to have to use that jet propulsion as a disengage there, as another Q or two from Trave might have taken him out. But as you mentioned here, Raynor pushing Phoenix back and able to keep the top control point, although it sounds like Deathwing is going to be coming up here in just a moment, as he is up in the air.
I was just going to say the same thing. Venus needs to be aware. The call out from his teammates needs to be that Deathwing is up in the air, so he could come down. And that'll force Venus back, even with him not actually up here yet. Just the threat of him, he needs to back up.
Yeah, and Deathwing is nearly full health, so fully expect him to... There he is, engaging onto the Raynor here. The slow's going out. Raynor's able to just slowly walk away there. Did not get hit by that Earth Shatter, so was able to make it out. But level 10's online here for Arrogant Nephalem.
Yeah, it's going to be a Ring of Frost for Jaina. Burn beneath my shadow for Deathwing. There's the Mosh Pit Ring of Frost combo, catching 2, but the Flailing Swipe coming online just in time. Star Knight was down to 4 health, Aero. 4 health. And now the counter kill onto the Jaina.
And an ETC with that last rites. ETC's coming back in a second, though, so they'll at least have their front line for that. And if you're keeping track, that 4 health, that's another one on the board. Single digits.
I mean, that Flailing Swipe came on literally just in the nick of time. I mean, it could not have been any closer.
This is a fun game so far. Like, 2-2 on the kill count. Here comes Deathwing, though. This is gonna make this a little bit more even, but with Trabe coming back into this.
And Raynor, too. This is actually going to be in favor of Clouded Minds if they can stay alive long enough. Venus almost turned into fried bacon there.
But Tiger's deep in, all by himself. There's nobody even remotely close here, and Jaina's gonna take him out.
little bit of miscommunication. I like the idea for Clouded Minds to rotate there, but Venus and Tiger were both kind of low for that engagement, and they got kind of pushed back by the Flame Breath and weren't really able to contribute in a meaningful way.
Well, and that's kind of what I was mentioning too with this Molten Breath build is that Deathwing's going to be able to put out a lot of damage, because when he's casting that Molten Breath at full health, he's 75%, or I'm sorry, above 75%. Well, okay, Blaze getting just obliterated by the Chainstones there, but above 75%, he's doing 75% more damage with that Molten Breath, or Molten Flame, I guess. When he gets the next talent, it's going to reduce the energy cost, so he can do it for like twice as long.
Yeah, and that's I think twice now we've seen kind of Clouded Minds with maybe a little bit of a miscommunication, kind of heroes going in when their teammates weren't there. But there it is, double Ring of Frost Mosh Pit again, and this time Raynor and Stukov will go down instead of the counter kills. But Tiger on the back does pick off the Jaina, so it's going to end up being a 3-4-1.
But it's okay, because Jaina's back.
She is back, because Aero got through.
Oh, by the way, Deathwing, triple kill there. That's another one. Bingo madness tonight.
Oh man, Kael'thas caught out. Nice job by the ETC to get in there with the power slide and the face melt. Counter engage from Blaze with the combustion. Now going into ETC, but there is the crossing of the streams, Ghostbuster style. The Planet Cracker and the Fire Breath. Actually, what is it Fire Breath? What is the actual ability called?
Molten Flame. That's what I was just correcting myself about.
I'm just gonna say Dragon's Breath because it's more fun.
Right? Like, I can't believe that they didn't allow for that. The Chromie's like boom, boom, boom is Dragon's Breath instead of actual Dragon Breath.
Right?
Got a rotation in from Clouded Minds with the big dragon coming in onto the team. Looks like Malthael is going to be the one to fall. Cataclysm coming in, and there's a Ring of Frost going out. That's a zoning ring. Make it another one. These guys are playing bingo tonight. They got to be like looking at their brackets, I think.
I was gonna say that's another time though where Blaze looked like he was kind of coming in to cut off the retreat, but then he peeled off onto Deathwing. But Malthael and Raynor stayed on the original flanking target, so Clouded Minds had the numbers advantage for a short while, but divided their damage, so it wasn't effective.
Well, and now they're going to make their way onto the boss, and the boss does not actually go. A lot of people think it goes into the heavier lane like BOE. It doesn't always. I haven't quite figured out the trigger, but it almost just seems random.
Well, in this case, it is.
Yes. And that's probably better for them, because having that boss... Oh, nice. Jet propulsion coming in. We've got the combustion. Here comes... Oh, the mosh getting interrupted by the silence. Planet Cracker, however, coming out as well. Raynor's going to get the kill onto ETC, but Deathwing's going to easy bake oven the Malthael, but take his own life in the process.
And a big momentum swing there for Clouded Minds. They're going to get a 3-for-1. Health bar is pretty low, but they really needed that to seize momentum back a little bit.
Well, and that means that they probably don't lose this keep. Well, maybe. I guess, just like we discussed earlier, the siege value on this team, not super great without the Raynor.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to burn it down. It hasn't even started working on it yet. Kael'thas pretty good single target damage. And there's Jimmy.
This is Jimmy. Alright, so Phoenix picking up top here. Was running away from the Malthael, then realized it's just Malthael. So I think now Phoenix is like, maybe I can do this.
No, but now Tiger may have overstayed. Raynor's on his way. There's the power slide. Still numbers advantage for Arrogant Nephalem, and down goes Malthael. Now 16-14 without numbers. Clouded Minds in a rough spot here.
And it doesn't get easier when Deathwing's there to lock you down. The Flailing Swipe coming in to try to help the Blaze, but unfortunately ETC just got knocked into the wall close by.
And this is going to be really back Clouded Minds into a corner. Down 16-15, down a keep. They're going to be losing the channel on the objective.
And this Zergwave's coming into this bot lane where there's no keep wall, so it's going to take that keep out for sure. The only question is, how far does it get? And if it's just left to go, I mean, it could very well be the game.
Absolutely, yeah. So they do get the fort wall. Kime getting kind of low, so they're putting a little extra damage to him. Trying to catch Arrogant Nephalem kind of overstaying, but they didn't take the bait and backed out when they needed to.
Oh, this is their time to get the Deathwing. Oh no, Malthael! Feels bad. That was an easy last rites. They've got the siege camp started too, so they'll be able to pick that up. Deathwing in the air. He's going to be in the air for probably another 10 to 15 seconds, slowly regenerating that health. As the Zergwave coming in. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tiger finding out here, you really can't tank the Zergwave. Those things friggin' hurt.
Oh, I was like, where is that beam coming from or going to? Apparently Phoenix is up top dealing with the Zergwave. I would have thought Phoenix would have been here. I didn't think that Zergwave was game ending on their side, but it certainly could be in their favor.
Yeah, 100% agree. I don't really care about that fort if I'm Arrogant Nephalem. I'm looking at maybe trying to end here.
And I'm not positive that they can now. Being split, level 16s are available here now for Clouded Mines, but they do need to focus on these bigger Zerg.
Now there's the big combustion. Ring of Frost catches 2 again. There goes the ETC, who's actually silenced. I think he was trying for a mosh pit there, but got preemptively interrupted. Last right chunks the ETC, does not kill him. Core down to 2%, 1%, and there it goes.
It was close. Like, there was the potential that if they could just stick it out a little bit longer, maybe, but it was just enough. That's going to be game number 1 going over to Arrogant Nephalem, the number 2 seed out of Division C West.
Yeah, very close to number 1, too. They were right there.
Indeed, 23 points behind another team that you might be a little bit familiar with,
yeah,
of the name of Would Tap That.
Yeah, I'm not used to being in that spot. Usually I'm clamoring and pleading desperately to try to get into 8th, so it's a nice change of pace.
Oh my goodness. All right, so stats up there. Let's show these talents here. We didn't get a level 16 talent out of Zednam. Sounds like Clouded Mines would like first pick, so we'll let's see. I don't even know who the captain is of Arrogant Nephalem.
I think it's Trabe.
Yeah, that makes sense. Trabe's the one that messaged me.
There you go.
So okay, so let's show those standings here real quick. Apparently I still have the brackets up, so I'll do the bracket first. So here we see we're playing the Arrogant Nephalem versus Clouded Mines. I know that Piecemeal and Tidecall and Murgles have set up their game later this week. Do you happen to know if you guys have set yours up with CCS?
I think it just went on the calendar. I think it's going to be Thursday, 7:30 Pacific.
Gotcha, okay. And then Better Than Bots versus Dat Task, though.
Yeah, that should be a good one. I think that's a pretty even matchup.
Good deal. And just putting up the overall standings there from the original regular season, so we can see kind of where these teams were. Clouded Mines tied with the Tidecaller Murgles, but ultimately they didn't have the tiebreaker. And I'm, in all seriousness, Div C West was so competitive, right? There was a point where 7 teams, I think, were within 2 points of each other.
Yeah, it was very close, particularly in the first half. Like, Clouded Mines had kind of an odd season. They started off winning their first 6 or 8 matches, and they were in first place, and then they kind of struggled a little the second half of the season, coming back down and finishing more middle of the pack. But the first half of the season in particular was really tight, and competitive games all around.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the only set we lost was to Can't Counterpick Stupid, and they dumpstered us. Frankly, they beat us really hard. So there you go.
Okay, so we are going to go to Alterac Pass for our next map.
All right. I like it.
So based on what we just saw, do you think either team has an advantage going into this map?
I just with the state of the meta right now, I think whoever has first pick has an advantage. You just have so much more control over the draft, and with the two heroes that dominate the early bans right now. But having said that, Clouded Minds didn't seem to prioritize those two heroes at all in that first game. So I don't know if they saw something that will maybe change their mind. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's see. This is AN versus CN. And it worked. Cool. You have that, right? You're in there, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, now I get the joy and fun of making sure everybody's on the right side. Nah.
Nah. Well, they're not.
Yeah. Let's see. Killadin was not in last game. That's Arrogant Nephalem, I believe.
I am pretty sure that's correct, yep.
Swing is over there. Trade. No.
For Segatai, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
There we go. I think that would do it.
I think you're correct. Let's see. Who wants hats? All right. Well, while we're doing that, so we talked earlier about the DivC bingo. If you're not sure what we're talking about, there was this big discussion today about basically playing bingo, and so check out the Division C channel if you have access to it to see the very basic rules, the prizes, and grab a bingo board.
Yeah, I'm actually snipping one now so I can mark off. Let's see. First game, blah blah blah. Displacement or non-healer has more self-healing than. Oh no, that didn't happen. At least 7 heroes die in a boss fight. Oh, we did have the AOE heroic missing entirely, so that one was marked off. We did. Leap of Faith into the fray, no. Twin Blades, no. Full team hides, no. One team gets 2 full objectives back to back, no. Winning team with your kills.
Was that no? No, I suppose it wasn't.
Was not, no.
Yeah.
All mercenary camps, 1 team, no. First.
Do we have any banned skins?
I
didn't think to check that.
Both teams lose all keeps, no. Teams down court, less 10%, no. But it was close-ish. Fort is down before first objective, no. Caster calls the hero that's about to be picked. Sort of. I was talking about Deathwing.
Yeah, I guess that counts. We can count that.
Close-ish. I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna say. One team starts a boss, choose pirates. Hero escapes death with single digits. That did happen.
Yeah.
Caster. No, I think that's it. So 3. I got 3.
I'm trying to find. I've got the AoE heroic. I got the hero escapes death. There it is.
And caster calls. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to see if there are any others.
Well, this would have to be a crazy game for someone to get bingo. I think you're going to be going into next week or next game.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Oh man. Well, I mean, it would depend. You know, maybe we get I don't have all the cards in front of me, so I don't know. But first, oh right. Let's see who selected this. They wanted first pick, so that should be them. So, but yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, that could be, like, if you had those in diagonal with that free space, you could be 1 away. Mongoose, we could actually get potentially somebody in game number 1, in game number 2. That would be nuts. That would be nuts.
Could happen. All we need is for a Twin Blades Variance team to hide in a bush for 20 seconds and then get a mega kill.
So I did change the 20-second one.
Oh, yeah?
I made it so that just because there's no really good way to, like, every time the team goes to sit in a bush, are we going to sit there with a stopwatch? So, there you go, see? So I just put it, I made a thing at the top called errata. So basically, if there's a thing that I changed, then it was there.
So what is it? They have to stay in the bush for how long now?
They have to. So they just have to, as a group, they just have to stand in a bush together
for some longish amount of time.
Just I mean, the intent has to be there, right?
Sure, I got you.
Because I figured, I mean, even that takes some coordination.
We actually, I missed. We had single player gets a triple kill too, because Deathwing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. So there's 4.
Good catch. I even mentioned that. Just forgot.
Yep.
Good luck, AN, says Migs.
So we need a Twin Blades variant team to sit in a bush and watch the other team start the boss. Then they need to mega kill him and steal the boss.
Well, Deathwing's gonna be the first ban. No big surprise there. Deathwing did do a lot.
Yeah,
and I think Galtrack is a good one for him too.
He's really good. The Johanna ban doesn't surprise me. That's a hero that Clouded Minds have used a lot this season, and she's probably, I would say, one of the top 2 kind of generalist tanks right now. So
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think your top tanks in general. Now, obviously, you may see a little bit of difference in C West, but Johanna, Mal'Ganis was the other one I was going to say, and ETC are kind of the 3 that are most often picked. And I think they probably have the highest win rates too.
I think you're probably correct. You know what? I'm going to pull it up because I have Stats of the Storm up. And
hey!
Hey!
All right, that's page 1. Birdwood Braxis, that's what it was. All right, first pick's going to be Kael'thas once again, coming into the Nexus.
Okay. In Division C West, the highest popularity hero was Johanna at 98.3%. I am curious, the other 1.7%, what happened?
That's like one game.
Right?
And you know what happened? As soon as they finished the bans, they were like, ah, crap, we forgot Johanna.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, we're going to have the Stukov and Blaze coming out here.
Highest win rate tank in Division C West is Blaze at 59%.
Interesting.
And then Arthas and Joe at 54, Mal'Ganis 53, and Nubrak 52, ETC 51.
What does the popularity look like aside from Johanna?
Let's see, tanks only. Let me get those up.
And it doesn't really surprise me to see Blaze in those because Blaze, you know, kind of does double duty in both, you know, tanking and offlane.
So popularity of tanks in C West, Anduin ban coming out. Johanna 98%, ETC 71. Then to Blaze at 41, so a huge drop off between Johanna and ETC. Mal'Ganis 38, Garrosh 33, Anub 24, Arthas 14, and on down the line. Diablo 10. Diablo with a 28% win rate. That's, I mean, I know he's not in a great spot, but I don't think he's 28% win rate spot.
Wow. I mean, that is interesting. You kind of consider that the bans change when you've got this focus on Oriole and Deathwing, but that also means that the hero pools change because it means that a lot of people are able to play heroes that they're more comfortable with that maybe otherwise would have been banned.
Absolutely. I can tell you my team in particular benefit from that.
Oh, that's not going to be a Twin Blades.
Twin Blades. No?
It's not going to happen.
Maybe. Could be. They already have a Blaze.
Yeah, but Kime's their offlane and Segati's their tank.
They can switch, Aero.
They can switch, but they're not going
There's
to.
always hope, despite Ariel being banned. I will tell you, highest win rate hero in C West. Do you know who it is?
Probius.
It is Probius. That is correct, sir. Yeah.
Well, there we go. There's the Arthas you mentioned, and Star Knight's going to pull in on the Brightwing. Not a hero you see a whole lot of. What do you think the value call is for the Brightwing?
I think it depends on who this last kind of hero is. Brightwing can struggle into those pick them out and blow them up type comps. Which, I mean, there you go.
I actually, that is either the biggest brain play or it was just sheer luck, because Brightwing does so well into Kel'Thuzad. Like, yeah, he bursts, but Brightwing has potentially 50 spell armor. She has cleanse. She can silence. She can polymorph. You know, with the right talents and right, you know, positioning, Brightwing can really kind of prevent a lot of what Kel'Thuzad wants to do, at least later in the game.
Yeah, and I kind of like the front line from Clouded Minds here. If positioned properly, ETC and Arthas exert a lot of control over how these engagements are going to go. That's not a strong suit of Varian's, right? He's not going to move people around so much. Even with Taunt, his options for that are a little bit limited. So I think if Clouded Minds plays this correctly, they could exert more control over how these engagements go than Arrogant Nephalem.
Indeed. Well, let's get our teams introduced, starting with the Arrogant Nephalem, currently up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series. We've got Segatai playing the Varian, Null Pointer playing Stukov, Kime on the Blaze, Trabe on the Cassia, and Dakilidin on Kel'Thuzad.
And our friends in the red trunks, Clouded Minds, trying to force a game number 3, Zednam on ETC, Star Knight on Brightwing, Swing on Kael'thas, Tiger on Arthas, and Weenus back on Jimmy Raynor.
And it looks like, once again, just one player on the Clouded Minds on a different mount, because if we don't count Brightwing, because she doesn't get the chance to mount.
Yep, who didn't get the memo?
That was Arthas. Yep.
Arthas didn't get the memo.
And last game it was Zednam, I believe, because it was Blaze, right? Or was Tiger Blaze? I don't remember.
Worth noting, I love what Clouded Minds did there. Knowing a Kel'Thuzad is on the other side, they just didn't take that fight. There was no reason to freely stack him.
Absolutely excellent point. The longer it takes to stack Kel'Thuzad, the safer you are. He doesn't have that 75% burst. He doesn't have that glacial spike. And you know what? He's going to get enough stacks when you get to the prison camps anyways.
Yep, and I tell teams I play with all the time with the Kel'Thuzad, in the early game, you legit run from him. You just are never in lane with him. Never give him the opportunity to stack. If he has one stack before the first objective, you did something wrong.
Speaking of one stack, that's exactly how many Kel'Thuzad has right now.
Right. Which is still pretty good. But...
so, yeah, exactly. So both teams going to work on their... what are these called? Null camps.
Siege camps?
Yeah, that thing. The Kael'thas Brightwing gonna get theirs done. They started a little bit earlier, but I think Kael'thas has a little bit faster clear on those as well.
Yeah, that's actually a small thing. Because on these mid camps, if you finish them fast enough, you can actually get them a second time right as the objective proc. So you really want to do them as early as you can.
And at this point here, I think Kael'thas has a little bit of an advantage on getting the kills onto these, but the problem is that all that XP, they're just not getting that XP. Sure. Other than what that flame strike hits.
Yep. Or yeah, ETC would really have to kind of overstep to try to get it.
And give up Kel'Thuzad stacks while he's doing it.
That too.
So in this case,
don't go behind the wall. You stay in front where the chain, no chain.
Yeah. So in this case, the siege camp, even though we had Clouded Minds picking it up just a little bit earlier, it was fully valued over to Arrogant Nephalem. And
Null Pointer there. If there weren't minions there to tank that fort, he is DED dead, 100%. And now Weenus in trouble, eating the taunt, and a lot of other things.
Well, there's our first blood, 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the game, so we're not quite going to make it to that 4-minute mark for another bingo. And so Brightwing goes into the magic spit, so that's going to give her the additional range on her auto attacks, but also reduce the cooldown of her cleanse. So very important when you're fighting into a Kel'Thuzad to have that soothing mist available as often as possible.
Clouded Minds going to secure that camp for a second time, but in the process, giving up the early channel, and they're going to be late. I think they're going to be far too late, Aero, to contest this at all.
Yeah, and Kael'thas is heading back. Doesn't have enough mana really to fight this, so I mean, I don't even want to see them go in at this point.
No, and honestly, it's kind of like if you were going to do that, or that's how it was going to go, that means you actually missed a lot of soak by not being in the lanes at the same time too, even.
For sure, yeah. Yep, always find something to be doing, getting value somewhere. If you're gonna lose an objective, find a way to get value out of it.
Oh, Zedman face melting out of the gravity laps. Kalthos eating some Kel'Thuzad stacks. Now up to 17. Boy, that escalated quickly.
Sure did. And it's only going to get worse from here now, as landing 1 is going to make it easier for Kel'Thuzad to connect you onto a glacial spike. And he may not be able to kill you at this point with without that 75% bonus, but his teammates will certainly take advantage of it.
Well, on a taunt like that, look at that. Taunt, silence, Kel'Thuzad, ETC. And that was ETC. That's the tank.
So, just taking a look here, Arthas is... Oh, no. Nice pull onto Zednam there. Might get taken out. Oh, just barely surviving there. Brightwing actually using the body block.
No,
oh, but the
back.
taunt.
No, no. Zednam, say it ain't so.
Yikes. That was almost as good as the Leap of Faith pull re-engage.
Yeah, absolutely. Dekillian taking a lot of damage, but Venus getting eaten alive as well, as is Tiger. Clouded Minds fighting tooth and nail, but they're at a disadvantage. That silence getting so much value again. And that chain arrow is actually my personal pet peeve with Kel'Thuzad, as the hitbox on the chain is very generous.
It is, and I think it suffers, we'll say suffers. I think it has the benefit of the same kind of thing as in Warcraft, where, like in Warcraft, if you're moving and you jump, your character's actual position is where you left the ground, not where you are hovering over. And
Yep.
It almost seems like it's the same kind of effect with Kel'Thuzad's chain, is that the tip of that chain is going to where you were as opposed to where you are. And so you can oftentimes get caught by the tip of that chain by an extra few yards, it seems like.
Regardless of how you slice it, being on the receiving end. Now Star Knight too far. There are minions here. Forced to use the polymorph. Being on the receiving end of one of those chains is eternally frustrating.
Absolutely. It is going to be here for Varian going into Warbringer, so we'll have the additional charge on a very short cooldown. Presumably at 13 then is also going into the Juggernaut for the percentage damage, get that extra burst. But we've got a rotation in on Cassia here. And without 10s, this is actually probably going to turn around in the wrong direction for Clouded Minds. But Valkyrie not quite, thanks to the wall, going to get the Brightwing, but they get her anyways.
Yep, and level 10, speaking of, what is that? Massive shove. Valkyrie has seen Warbringer, like you mentioned. Excuse me, Shadowfisher for Kel'Thuzad. And Bunker for Blaze.
Well, and it looks like Clouded Minds now have theirs. They've got the Pyroblast, Emerald Wind, the Hyperion, Mosh Pit, and... I mean, is it going to be Syndragosa? I mean, what I was going to say earlier is we see Arthas here going full auto attack build, taking the Icy Talons, taking Rune Tap. Oh, can they get this onto Kil'jaeden?
And there it is. You called it. There's the Cindy.
Go ahead.
And now Kime getting caught out, body blocked nicely by both Star Knight and Zednam. Bunker's going to buy him a little time, but not enough. There's the power slide. Down goes Blaze. Clouded Minds roaring back, now trying to get the Trabe. Does hit the long-range gravity laps. Nice shot by Swing. Picking up the Cassia, too, and that's a triple.
Absolutely fantastic play there, getting the face melt onto Kel'Thuzad. He's already back, though. That was a long enough fight for the short death timers to be completed here. But Arthas, too, you know, I mentioned about the Rune Tap and all that stuff. Well, Arthas just sat on Varian, isolating him from the rest of the team, and kept him slowed, was able to get those auto attacks, and Arthas can do a lot of damage if he's allowed to just sit on a hero.
Absolutely, and Varian doesn't have a whole lot of ways to get away from that. Here comes Arrogant Nephalem. 5-on-5, here we go. There's the Mosh Pit, only catches one, instantly interrupted. Counter engage, down goes ETC, but will they have enough time to channel the objective? 2-1 0.2 seconds, and then it reprocced. They had it interrupted briefly at 0.2 seconds before completing it. So probably ETC's death worth that, I would guess. Nice shotgun by Weenus.
Yeah, I would say so, because if that didn't work out, then you've got cavalry coming in the other direction, and you've already got 2 forts down, so Kel'Thuzad here looking for the Kael'thas, gets the long-range pull, as you mentioned. And that's going to be another kill there. Could be an Arthas here with this chain taunt as well.
You know, we didn't really bring it up, too, is the ace in the hole with the Arthas, that Weenus on Raynor could do a ton of damage, as evidenced
Especially
right
now.
Yeah.
They're going to get the Kel'Thuzad here. The Shadowfisher coming out, allowing them to also burst down the Arthas. However, Raynor getting caught by the Valkyrie, taken out by Arrogant Nephalem, and Cassie is not done. Jet Propulsion coming in and hitting the ETC Brightwing as well. Varian getting the charge taunt, taking out the Brightwing, looking for the ETC, and that's a quad kill. Kind of in a way a 5 kill, but it's not on the screen, so we're not calling it a mega kill because Kael'thas was dead long before.
And if we didn't have it first game, Cassie just got a triple kill, so double bingo.
There we go. Now, you did mention there Varian's inability to escape. Well, in this case, because he took Warbringer there at 10, he can actually charge to allies. So he does have a little bit of, well, allied heroes. But so he does have a little bit of a disengage.
But you saw in that fight, despite the loss, the synergy between the Arthas and the ace in the hole. And now Kel'Thuzad not here. Clouded Mind's coming in, Aero.
Oh, this is... It's not going to be the bingo, but it's going to be a jet or a gravity lapse onto Segatai here. Raynor getting that punishing, penetrating round there. Zednam kind of on an island, and the Emerald Wind just barely missing there as Bunker dropped. Kel'Thuzad making it here, and the jet propulsion in with that Shadowfisher going to help secure kills onto 2.
Oh, man, that feels like such a missed opportunity for Clouded Minds. I think there was like 2 different initiations there, so they were kind of splitting their damage rather than focusing down a target. It seemed like ETC went one way and Arthas went another, you know?
Yeah, and you know, there are times when you kind of want that, but this is a difficult place for them, is coming to get the siege camp. They ended up not being able to get it down quickly enough, and Arrogant Nephalem saying, hey, we get a special little gift out of this. Bonus.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the map here. Oh, Star Knight in trouble. There's the silence, 200 hit point escape. And Cloud Mind's trying to dig their line in the sand, but they're in a rough spot.
Well, and you know what? I mean, they can afford to lose a keep, and it looks like they probably will. But they might lose more in the mid lane too if they don't clear that up here.
Yeah, on Alterac, you know, we never want to lose keeps, but on Alterac more than any others, 1 keep is not a win condition. ETC getting absolutely wrecked, and down he goes.
Oh, and make it a second here in a second as Swing getting caught by the Valkyrie. And they might actually continue on, finish off that mid keep, and that could turn into that win condition.
Yeah, absolutely. Because on Alterac, you usually want to get down 2 keeps before you make that core call. You can't leave the core partially health. It'll just heal up, right? So they don't think they can quite end here. Instead, they're going to make a run at this objective, content with their double keep play.
Not too shabby there, and they're going to get a lot of XP out of this. They have a 16 advantage. So why not?
Yeah, and I think that, man, I think if you're Clouded Minds Aero, you just run at the objective, right? There's not a lot else for you to do. I know you don't want to fight down 4 levels, but I almost don't think you have a choice at this point.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because you've got 2 lanes of pressure, and those cavalry coming in will cause a problem. ETC's looking. They do get the channel stopped, so you know what? That's probably the best case scenario for them at this point.
Sure.
This is a little bit interesting. We've got the power slide in onto the Varian, as he did get a ton out there. Syndragosa coming out. It's going to be Brightwing getting deleted there. Now Arthas getting charged is probably going to be able to make it out, maybe, unless he walks back into the Shadowfisher. And that's a triple kill here, make it a quad kill. Weenus, the only one to survive. I think they should have just gone core there, but they're going to get the objective first. Objective's going to take 20 seconds to get to the core, so that's going to give Clouded Minds the opportunity to resurrect and be here.
Yeah, it's still going to be a hard sledding, but I agree. I think you just run to core.
It looks like at least some of them have done so.
Core dropping quickly, coming down to half health. All members of Clouded Minds will be up here in about 5 seconds, except for Brightwing heading immediately back to the Hall of Storms. 25% health-ish. Down goes the core. Game 2 to Arrogant Nephalem, looking like the number 2 seed.
Definitely. They played a couple of really good games. You know, Clouded Minds blooded their noses certainly a few times there. Had a great start to game number 1.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah, just couldn't quite sustain the power that they needed to make it to where they needed to be.
And they had a couple of moments in both, in addition to the strong start in game 1, they had a couple of plays in both games that just never, they couldn't put multiple of those plays together to take back control of the game. You know, it just seemed like a little bit of a hiccup or a speed bump. Never able to fully maximize and put back-to-back team fight wins together.
Yeah, one of those was that mid lane, right as we were talking about it. The Cindergosa coming in, the Rainer damage, and, you know, they ended up losing 3 or 4 heroes on a fight that, you know, you look at it on paper and you think, all right, this is clearly Clouded Mind's time to shine. But Arrogant Nephalem just said, nah, we got this.
So they will advance to take on the winner, I believe. I think you have the brackets there of Better Than Bots and Tas, though. Is that correct? No.
Nope. That's who you guys would play.
That's
They're
right.
in the other half.
The winner of Piecemeal and Tidecaller.
That is correct. Which I think is also Thursday.
Yeah, there's a lot of games on Thursday. I was telling Shadonis,
Yeah.
my captain, I'm like, put that thing on there. We want to get casted.
Right. Well, Trabe is waiting for us in lobby 5. I'll meet you over there.
Certainly.
All right. Hello, Trabe.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. Congratulations on your victory. I imagine you guys are excited about that. Tell us, how's the team doing after that?
Yeah, we're excited. We're definitely a little stressed out. Both those games had a number of fights where it could have very easily gone the other way, and from one big team wipe to another, and just really shifted things. So we're still a little antsy for sure, but feeling pretty good overall.
Sure. Well, they were exciting games, and you know, we were talking about it. You know, Clouded Minds started off really strong, but you guys really put the pedal to the metal in the second half of these games, and obviously it shows, right? You guys had the kills, you had the structures, you had the victories. So well done. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Mongoose for any questions that he has to start off, if that's okay with you, Mongoose.
Totally fine with me. Congratulations, Trabe. You guys looked strong there. Game 1, I personally watching that draft was a little blown away that both Ariel and Deathwing got as far into the draft as they did. Were you guys surprised as well?
We were a little surprised. Yeah, we had like a big draft board drawn out of like, all right, here's what we ban, here's what we pick. If they ban this, then we shift to this. And so I had it all mapped out in my mind and was trying to remember it. And I don't think we ever really came up with a plan for if we had
if you could
both
get
of them.
Yeah.
Because we knew what we were gonna do if we got one, and we knew what we were gonna do if we got the other. It turns out they actually aren't. They don't combo super well together. So we had a little bit of learning pains at the beginning there, trying to figure out what exactly we were doing. But luckily we were able to figure it out quick enough and pull things together.
What was the other one? Oh, the Kel'Thuzad, was that something you guys had in the back pocket game 2? Or like were you kind of looking for that, or was that the response to what they were showing?
It's something that we're always vaguely considering. With how our drafts tend to go, we often are locking a mage really early, so Dak doesn't get much of a chance to do Kel'Thuzad, because if you've already got, Gul'dan first pick or something, then you probably don't want the second mage.
Sure.
But just with how the draft shook out, we ended up holding my pick for a little bit, We know that Cloud of Minds likes running the two beefy frontliners. They always go like Blaze or Mal'Ganis or some of those. The Arthas are two big guys. So we'd have some chances there. Right Wing's Cleanse is a little bit wonky. So we basically just said, go with your heart. You can either do the Kel'Thuzad or pick something more normal, but the Kel'Thuzad won out.
Worked out well. And last question, you guys get to watch your potential opponents Thursday, Tidecaller or Piecemeal. Any thoughts on those guys? Go ahead and give them locker room material to put up on the bulletin board.
They're both strong competitors, dear friends. I'm sure we'll have a wonderful, passionate match, or friendship will shine through in the end. But Piecemeal beat us in the regular season, so we want revenge on them. So that's who I'll be rooting for personally. I must right the wrongs of week 1. But yeah, whatever happens, we had some good matches with both those teams earlier in the season, so I'm excited to play either one of them.
That's it for me, Aero. It's all you, bud.
Alrighty. So you guys talked about the Oriole Deathwing. Mongoose and I talked about it early in the game about how rare it is to see either of those heroes let through, let alone both of them, and played. And you're right. I mean, the other time that I saw it, there was definitely some learning experience there, but it's still, they're just so strong heroes. So was there anything when you guys were setting up that comp? I know you just mentioned that the Kel'Thuzad was kind of, hey, listen, it's your call, you do what you want to do with this. Was there anything when you were setting up into these comps that you kind of adjusted? Like you were, hey, we were going to start with this, but as soon as we saw the I don't know, the Arthas, we decided, you know what, maybe we don't go into Illidan. Anything like that adjusted for you?
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say Illidan, necessarily. We all have a couple of back pocket picks that we love to pull out. I've got one or two that I've been hoping to get a chance to play. I know No Pointer at least has one that he's hoping to get a chance to do. I think Hime has a couple. So we rarely go into drafts with like, we definitely want these 5 heroes. But we try to play a little bit more reflexive and see if there's a weird pick that we can pull out. But a lot of the time you kind of end up with the same 6 or 7 guys anyway, unfortunately. But yeah, none of us are one tricks, so we know the strong heroes. We just sort of play to the meta, and we're not usually we're a little more reactive and just, I don't know. We're not very good at drafting, really, I feel like. So we just kind of go into a fugue state and end up with a team and play out the game best we can. That's my experience, at least.
Fair enough. So moving away from drafting, so this question is, to kind of point out some good friends over there on the Arrogant Nephalem. What's the deal with Kime only dying once on Alterac Pass?
I'm as disappointed as you are, frankly. It's not going to help my bingo board, that's for sure.
Right?
So we'll have to talk to him for round 2 and see if he can step his game up a little bit there.
Well, you guys, in your match tonight, at least as far as, we were able to count, there were 4 that got triggered on the bingo board. So technically speaking, it could be possible. I don't think it's the case, but it could be possible that, one of those boards happens to be already completed. But, it was fun as we were going through Braxis, which is where all these came from, calling out, oh, there's another one. There's another thing that just happened. And, the escaping... By the way, Stukov escaping with single digits in that first game when they got the...
4 hit points.
Yeah. So, in case you missed that one over that bottom control point.
They had Stukov, didn't they, game 1?
They did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny then. I probably missed the cue or something. Dang it.
Well, it was right before they got the ultimates, and then ultimates popped, and Stukov was just like, oh, flailing swipe, everybody get away.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember this now. I had blurred it from my memory to be less mad about it, but now I'm mad again. So thank you.
Hey, I do what I can. All right, last question for you for the evening then. What was your, or what is one, doesn't have to be your favorite, but what was one moment that you enjoyed tonight that you feel should be highlighted, whether it was something you did or your team did or the opponents did?
My favorite moment was easily early on in game 2 when I was. Well, actually, okay. Do I get 2 moments if one of them is very short?
You can have 2.
Okay. Honorable mention 2. Me forgetting that Venus plays a ton of Cassia and being like, he's gonna come in too far in the Rainer, and I'm gonna blind him, and I'm gonna charge strikes, and I'm just gonna ruin him. And the second I tried it, it was just instant Rainer Q every time, and I could just hear him laughing, and I'll never forgive him for the rude way he treated me.
I love it.
Actual credit to me being bot lane, not paying any attention, and hearing everyone else on the team just start kind of yelling, and all yelling that they're going mid and saying, please don't die, I'm throwing chains, and just everyone yelling all their abilities. And then we got some kills, and I don't know what happened, but I cleared a lane bot. That was fun.
I believe that what happened was that we were talking about the combination. Mongoose really was talking about the combination of Arthas plus Ace in the Hole on Raynor, saying how good that combination was, and we got an immediate lesson of Syndragosa into the team.
Still there? I think I lost you.
Oh no,
Oh,
did
I
I?
lost you too. I heard Mongoose really, and then everything cut out.
All right, am I back yet?
Yeah, you seem
Oh,
bad.
yeah, there you go.
Okay, so Mongoose was talking about the combination of Ace in the Hole and Arthas, Raynor's Ace in the Hole, and we immediately got the result of that with the Syndragosa right through the middle of the team, and yeah, that's exactly what happened, right? You had the Dakilidin turning around, throwing out chains, and just causing pure mayhem into the team, and then of course you shut up and made it, you know, more exciting and finishing off a bunch of people. So that's what happened.
That's my ideal kind of team fight. The hard and scary part is done by the time I'm there, and I just get to, you know, toss out an ult and throw some Qs and hear the numbers go up.
Yes, that was the ult that was onto Brightwing that she almost looked like she was gonna live because it caught the edge of the wall.
Which of the 3 times that it caught the edge of the wall? They all blur together in my mind, along with the 8,000 other times in NGS matches. The same thing has happened.
Yeah. Well, good deal. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Any shout-outs you'd like to make?
Shoutouts to Beast Coast, our sister team in Div A, who I believe has clinched or almost clinched a spot in the Div A playoffs. Doing really weird, dumb comps that shouldn't work. So if you want to see some weird games, go watch whatever Beast Coast plays, because they have stopped doing normal comps now and they just kind of do whatever.
Yeah, it looks like they have one match left total, but they're probably maybe not. Maybe they're not okay, unless they won tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what we watched like half of it and then we had to jump away for our game. So I know no more than you do, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, if they beat Virtual Murky Slayers, then I think that they're fine. Oh, no, VMS is done. So, yeah, they've got a place. They just don't know what place they're in yet. So, good deal. Any other shoutouts?
No, that's fine.
All right.
I'll think of some more by next week.
Good deal.
That's all I got for now.
Well, again, great job. Congratulations, 2-0 victory in the, the quarterfinals, I guess. So going to the semis, you're one step closer to those grand finals and facing off against the C East champions, whoever those happen to be. So, but one step at a time, and don't forget to report your match.
Oh gosh, I still have to do that? Okay, well.
Still have to do that.
Thank you for letting me know. I would have completely blanked on it.
Yeah,
it's been a good season. However the rest of it goes, we've had a good time, so go NGS.
Excellent. Yeah, you still got to report it, because otherwise the bracket won't update your next place.
That's probably worth doing then.
Probably.
I'll take the 30 seconds out of my busy schedule.
Good deal. Well, thanks again for joining us here, and have a good night.
Yeah, thanks so much for casting.
For sure. I'll call you back, Mongoose.
All right.
All right. We are back. Let me put you back on the screen. There we go. So, I don't think there was anything else on the bingo board that came up.
I don't think so.
I don't know if you took a look. Again, I didn't think to check for a banned skin, so I guess that's technically possible out there.
Someone is revived and brought back and dies again. No, that did not happen because she was banned. At least 7 heroes die over a boss fight. That was close to happening.
Yes. Yeah.
And
a
one
lot of
team
heroes
starts
did.
the boss, but the other team steals it. That almost happened as well, but I don't think actually happened.
Correct. Yeah, because they tried to come in, but then they got pushed back. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the team dies on a core with less than 10% left.
It'll happen. It will 100% happen.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. We almost
It may not
had.
happen in Division C, but it will happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's it. So I don't think there's anything. I think this was the last game for tonight.
I believe it is.
Let's see. Today's Monday, right?
It is.
Yes. So let me check to see if this B West game is still going on. If it is, we could raid over to them. It is. Oh, they're in game number 3. It's just about to end. So before we wrap up, anything you want to say to the Twitch viewers? Mongoose.
Yeah, Aero, think of something special for your Cast 100 to do for this season because you're an animal. Also, to NGSers, the post-season survey is posted in the Discord. Send us your feedback.
Excellent. I will think of something fun and exciting to do. And let's go ahead and get everybody set up for a raid over to Nexus Commentaries for at least the finish of this Division B West game. Thanks again for joining us, and have a good night, everybody.